Alright, in this video we'll be diving into the intricate topic of information technology, and I'll be giving you a basic understanding of the concept and how it is applied in the corporate world. So the goal of this video is to teach you what exactly IT means by providing a brief definition with some examples. I'll also talk about what IT is used for, why it's used by so many companies, and how it helps businesses all around the world. So we'll talk about some pros and cons of IT as well. So to start off, let's see what IT actually is. You've probably heard the term a lot, whether you're a business person or a computer scientist, whatever it may be. IT is pretty much in every single industry. And what it is basically when businesses use information or use technology to help them figure out issues within the company and manage and distribute data. So it involves the use of computer systems and networking, whether it's software or hardware, to store or send out data, and is extremely important in today's world for performing everyday business operations and growing and innovating your business. So as I just mentioned, IT is everywhere, and there's many everyday examples I can think of for it. So our phones, tablets, laptops, pretty much any device you own is an example of information technology. Hard drives, solid state drives, or SSDs are also examples of information technology because they are components that store our data on our devices. And as I said earlier, it's not only hardware, it can also be software. So social media is also IT, and it's a way for people and businesses to share or exchange information with others, so that all definitely ties in with IT. So what is the main purpose of IT? Right? What's the main reason why it's so big? And the main reason why information technology is used in almost every business is because it's an easy way for businesses to send, receive, store, and analyze information efficiently. So it also helps businesses make important decisions because of how easy it is to access information or analytics. So before you're making a big important decision for your corporation, you definitely want to be using the most background information that you can find and getting the most analytics or data on something that you're going to make a decision about, because that will allow you to make a much more calculated decision on whatever it is you need to make a decision on. So that's definitely a big thing, and it's not only the corporate world where IT is used, because pretty much any entertainment, any source of entertainment that you can think of, your favorite sources of entertainment all rely on IT. And social media, as I mentioned earlier, and pretty much any other digital way of communication is all IT. So to add on to all those things, it also significantly improves our education system. Think of how many tools you use on a daily basis that are all examples of information technology. So something as simple as sending an email to your professor or colleague is an example of information technology, and it's safe to say the world revolves around it now. So how does it help? What are some advantages of information technology? So the biggest advantage of information technology, as I mentioned earlier, is communication. IT provides significantly improved communication, and without it, communication would be much more difficult, and as a result, that would negatively affect all businesses. And with all the apps you can use nowadays, it takes a couple of seconds to send a text message or email to someone, and communicating digitally is almost as easy as simply talking to someone in person now. And speaking of businesses, this ties in with social media, as I mentioned earlier. It allows you to promote your business and advertise your product much more easier and get your name out there a lot easier. And this also ties in or elevates other aspects of business, such as marketing, right? So advertisements all marketing, and this IT definitely elevates that aspect of business as well. And it also helps businesses automate some of their processes that would otherwise take much longer to do. So this saves a lot of time in a business, and anyone who's actively involved in the corporate world knows how valuable of a resource time is, and you should definitely be saving time wherever you can, so you can allocate that time to something more useful. So moving on to disadvantages, we have unemployment in some areas. So following up from what I just mentioned, automating tasks is great because it saves time, but at the same time it causes unemployment because it takes away the need for certain jobs, and IT systems can also be pricey. So moving on to the next thing, we have cost. Automation or information technology systems can be pricey, and this makes it much more difficult for smaller businesses to get access to important tools and compete with larger organizations. So all these corporations who already have these information systems implemented will continue to progress faster and faster and stay at the top of the chain, and they can pretty much do whatever they want, and all these smaller businesses are going to have a much tougher time trying to compete because they're not able to spend as much money on these systems. And lastly, we have security risks, which is probably the biggest disadvantage of IT overall, because when you're involving yourself in the digital world, you're putting all of your data and personal information that you put out there at risk of being stolen or hacked, right? So you're gonna lose. There's definitely a risk of losing all that information, and you want to always make sure when you're implementing these systems that, yeah, you're getting the advantages out of it, but you want to be cautious of security risks, because if you lose all that personal information or data, have a leak of information in your corporation, you're going to be at a loss, and these systems are going to be doing more harm than good for your business. And that's pretty much it for this video. The goal of this video is to teach you, again, the basic concept of IT. So hopefully you learned something from it, and yeah, that's pretty much it.